Intense communication and objective thoughts are definitely on the table right now. We have to really remember to really breathe and to take our vantage point and plug it in the right places and put it in the right items to really, really develop a sense of peace, a sense of integrity, and a sense of truth. Well, that's what this week entails, or part of it, because that's part of the aspects that are going on this week. I'm Everett Carty, and in this video, I'm going to be discussing the astrology for the week of May 11th through May 17th. So, without further ado, the very, very first thing happening this week is on Monday. It is a full moon in Scorpio at 22 degrees and 13 minutes. You want to look in your own chart to see if you have any planets, points, or angles, points being the nodes, and Black Moon Lilith, angles being your ascendant, descendant, your midheaven, and your IC. You want to look at those aspects of your chart to figure out if you have anything from about 18 to 24 degrees of the fixed signs: Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio. And if you have placements in those degrees, you're really, really going to be impacted extra extra that vital this full moon. So this full moon has an opposition from the sun in Taurus and moon in Scorpio. So what this means is that with the Scorpio moon, we're really delving into the depths of our inner world, going below the surface, finding the true answers within us, discovering our gems, discovering our jewels, discovering so many things about us that is very, very valuable. This is a great time to tap into our healing powers. Scorpio's symbol is the phoenix, one of its symbols, and so it represents this incredible this power to heal you with going deep inside your soul and pulling out things and healing you from the inside out, just like a surgeon would cut into somebody and transform somebody from the inside out. It's the same spiritually, physic, mentally, psychologically, emotionally. So Scorpios, if they're not physical surgeons, they are emotional and psychological surgeons. So that hopefully that's making sense. So this is about tapping into our healing powers, becoming a healing balm for others. This is about transmuting our emotions, transforming our emotions. What we want to do, because Scorpio deals a lot with the long road of challenges, the long road of um, you know, tight ropes and haze and those kind of things that are very, very challenging to overcome, very challenging to face. And so what we want to do is we want to turn those obstacles that we have to face into wisdom that we gain through those experiences. This is a full moon, so it deals with culminations and completions. So this is a time to release old patterns that have been stuck, that have been stagnant, to release these things from your life, to let them go, to sayonara them, to let them float on by like leaves on a stream. So this is about exploring our depths. Um, and so any mask, any facade that we put on that hides who we truly are on a soul level, we want to release those masks. We want to take off those masks that we put around ourselves that are ego trappings instead of our soul mushy gushies. So that's what we want to consider now. So anything that we have repressed and ignored comes up to the surface for healing. So anything that we put down, put under the rug, not addressed, not acknowledged, will come to the surface for that to be brought into the light of consciousness. That way we make it conscious, that way we claim it, that way we name it, that way we ultimately heal it. So this is about looking at deep emotions, deep-seated beliefs, and addressing how those emotions and beliefs are serving us in our lives, or are they not serving us? Are they holding us back from being the person that our soul signed up to be in this lifetime? This is also a time with the sun in Taurus to ground yourself. Buddha was a Taurus, born on the full moon in Scorpio. All suffering comes from attachment. Desire is the root of all suffering. You surrender your attachment to the physical form and you become one with the divine, one with nature, listening to the waterfalls, listening to the birds singing, detached, loving nature, loving the simple pleasures of life. This is the evolved horse, not the hoarder, not the money hungry, you know, I want to say accumulator of material possessions and wealth. Um, and so what we want to do is we want to take a high road of Taurus, which is grounding ourselves into the moment, living an embodied life and experience, and being present as we can be, as present as we can be in the here and now, focused on that, really, really focused on it. This is a time to embrace transformation also. So um, that's what we want to look at. Now we're also looking at our subconscious patterns. So seeing if these patterns serve us or if they don't serve us, and release them if they don't serve us. If there's any power hungry people that are really taking away your power and dominating you and overwhelming you, now's the time to cut those cords and release these individuals from your life. This full moon gives us the opportunity to explore the inner realms of our being. We want to seek out our shadows. We want to do the shadow work, and then we gain the clarity from that shadow work after we've done the shadow work. Everything is energy waiting to be transformed. Everything is energy waiting to be transformed. Energy, like matter cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. So if anything comes up during this full moon, acknowledge it, be present with it, sit with it, move through it. Um, do those possible steps to alleviate the pain and the heartache that it may cause you. We want to tap into shadows. We want to turn our shadows into strength and our wounds into wisdom. We want to feel our feelings without judging our feelings and not judging ourselves for judging ourselves. So that's what we need to do is we need to non-judgmentally hold the space for ourselves to feel our feelings unapologetically and 100%. This is about feeling into change and stability. That's very important. This is about breaking free from limiting patterns and processing the emotional dimensions of change. So break free from limiting patterns this full moon. Chorus and Scorpio, that sort of combination hybrid is really presence in the moment. Once you've done the healing and shadow work, Scorpio, then you can be more present in the moment. Chorus. So Scorpio deals a lot with emotional release. That's what it's all about. Taurus deals with connections to the earth, material possessions, material goods, personal values. Scorpio is change, transformation, others' values, inheritances, other types of money, not the money that you make on your own, and energy connection, the flow of energy from one thing to another. So, Scorpio gives us the time needed for transformation, space for healing, and courage. So that's what we need to remember is to allow ourselves the time to transform, to really feel our feelings and to have courage ultimately. So we also are looking during this full moon at how fear and insecurity might limit us also. We may avoid feelings by distracting ourselves, heightening anxiety instead of really giving yourself the time and space to feel the feelings. So we're so hyped up with anxiety, we're not allowing ourselves to feel our feelings. And so the Taurus shadow, as I said before, is materialism, becoming too material focused. So security and self-worth is the Taurus Scorpio axis. Now, this is a big thing right here, is to really take stock of what you have in your situation right here, right now, what's going on around you, reflect on it, review it, sit with it, and count all those blessings, count all those abundant blessings, and write them down. You can even write down all the things you're thankful for, material possessions, people in your life, events that have happened to you, and that list will grow and then your gratitude will flow and will rise up to a higher vibration. So you really, really want to take stock of all that you have around you. So this is about sitting with emotions and letting them move through you. Very important. So be present with the discomfort. So if any discomfort comes up at this time, be present with it. There may be breakthrough moments. This is a highly emotional time because of a highly emotionally intense time. And so what possessions belong to you is Taurus. Possessions belong to other people is Scorpio. Form, Taurus, transformation, Scorpio. The simple pleasures of life, Taurus, versus the intricacies and the complexities of life, Scorpio. Now, this full moon is making a very supportive trine to Saturn in Pisces. And so, what does this mean? If we have a full moon trine Saturn, this is a time where we're feeling very self-reliant, very self-sufficient. We're able to be there for other people. We're able to rely on other people, relying on ourselves to do what we need to do in our lives. This is also a time for more persistence, for really doing things very persistently. Um, we're keeping at things and being very practical. We may feel very patient and emotionally resilient, so those are gifts that are brought to us at this time. A lot of the traditional standard ways of doing things, the old habits and the old ways of doing things, can actually provide you modern benefit, can actually provide you a lot of insight on very positive ways, very efficient, productive ways of doing things. So do not just reject the traditional ways of going about life. So this is about having strong instincts and a strong sense of common sense. Memories and dreams could guide your feelings on certain subjects. This is good for paying respect to your ancestors. This is about having the ability to summon endurance and patience to come to you, to really summon these things, to summon um, strength, resilience to come to you, and you're also very patient at this time. You may have a strong intuitive connection to family elders. This is about having great emotional maturity. This is about creating a secure foundation in your family, home, and career life. It's very important to build those foundations because Taurus is all about the foundation, and so is Saturn. So, your intuition can also provide you with wisdom and guidance. Wisdom and guidance can also be gained. Seek those two things. Seek wisdom and guidance from elders in your family, from people that have done it all, seen it all, lived a long time. They're very, very wise when it comes to that. Um, and so the next aspect with this full moon is this full moon, the moon is opposite Uranus, and the sun is also opposite Uranus. It's not exact until the 17th, but the sun and moon um is forming an opposition. The sun is conjunct Uranus, the moon is opposite Uranus, and Uranus is in Taurus right now. So with this full moon being opposite Uranus, it brings this conflict with independence versus the neediness, the need for emotional support. Um, it can bring about uncertainty, stress, and you can also feel very cut off from your life, very emotionally detached, very free, very liberated. Because Aquarius is liberated from humanity and all of its emotions and all of its experiences. It stands above that. It's above all of that and sees what could be best for humanity as a whole. That could be like a utopian society. Because remember, Aquarius is the water barrel that pours the water representing knowledge down to the people, but the water does not touch the Aquarius, meaning that the Aquarius is detached, very detached. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. And so there is this intense need for change and stimulation. That's the really, really big thing here. It's also important to be flexible and adaptable. Your instincts and your intuition could be unreliable at this time, so that's also important to take into consideration. Any emotionally based decisions could lead to chaos and conflict. So if you're making a wet decision, then that could lead to some trouble in your relationships. Your relationships to women in your life could be very important to you at this time. This is about discovering something about valuable people in your life that could trigger a dramatic emotional response within you. Express your emotions productively at this time as best you can. You may misread signs and cues from your intuition, so it's very, very important to really listen to your intuition and make sure that you're not misinterpreting the signs, the nudges, the niggles of your intuition. And so emotional longings are confused with what you consider as signs. So, emotional longings and nostalgia and feelings could have you confuse that with actual signs and actual wisdom and intuition. So, discerning between fear and emotions and intuition is really, really important. That's part of the work that a lot of people with Cancer placements have to work on in this lifetime. And I have Saturn in Cancer, so that's part of my my purpose in this lifetime is to work on emotional intelligence. So surrender to the change in your life. Very, very important. Now, we have the full moon. On the same day as this full moon, Mercury squares Pluto. So Mercury is at early degree, around 3 degrees of Taurus. Pluto is around about 3 degrees of Aquarius. So what this means when Mercury squares Pluto is that our thinking and our communication becomes more deep and more emotionally intense. Our interactions become that as well. This is good for deep research, delving deep into something. Be careful and mindful of going to extremes. If you need to catch yourself, if you're going to one extreme or another extreme, back up, stop the bus, really, really look at how you're blowing a matter out of proportion and bring it back into the middle way, bring it back into balance, bring it back into reality. And so criticism and conflict depends upon how extreme you go. So the more extreme your views are and your orders of what you force onto others, the more chaos and conflict in your life that will come to you. So it's very important to be mindful of that. Don't let your fighting spirit back you up into a corner. Dig deep and investigate the truth of matters. That is very important. You may be very intensely and passionately and obsessively interested in just this insatiable need for information on certain topics. Um, so there is a similar deep thought process with a singular focus as you seek the truth. So your focus is much more with the blinders on kind of thing. So that's important to consider. So a drill, a palabra. Yahtzee Isis Queefar. So, anyway, so, our communication is more intense at this time, and this is about not dominating our conversations or overstepping our boundaries. That's very important. And don't force your view onto others. It's really important not to project onto others like that. Now, the next aspect going on the same day is that Mercury will oppose Black Moon Lilith in the sky. So Mercury is at early degrees of Taurus, and Black Moon Lilith recently moved into the sign of Scorpio. So what this means is that your intellect is not in harmony with your emotions and desires. So that could be a possibility. So your intellect is very different than what you feel and what you really crave in this lifetime. You may be feeling on edge with where your wounds and anger rises to the surface to be acknowledged and released. So these emotions must be acknowledged and released. This is talking about channeling your energy logically and intellectually. This is good to use writing as a very, very strong method of releasing your anger. Um, Write in your journal about your anger. Express your anger through the written word. Keeping a journal can be very, very healing, or doing a voice recording of yourself without just getting embroiled in an argument with somebody else, expressing it verbally. Because that's where that caveat can sort of come into corny play here. So this is about your need to intellectually go your own way. You may feel the need to completely disregard anyone else's ideas or beliefs that can lead to you being an extremist. That's important to keep in mind. So there's a desire here to assert your independence. This can stir up deep, hidden feelings and thoughts. This energy brings to light unresolved issues and desires that are deeply buried within your subconscious. So it's important. Communication at this time is more intense. We may be more focused on speaking about taboos, speaking about um, things that we don't talk about at the dinner table, those kind of things. And so there's this urge here to break free against societal norms and personal limitations. We need to have honest self-examination, really looking ourselves from the inside out and really contemplating our lives and really reflecting on ourselves in that kind of powerful way. This can lead to profound personal growth. Embrace your true nature without fear of judgment, without fear or judgment. Face inner truths head on. You may not be adaptive to others' views, which can cause friction in your relationships. The more open-minded, open-hearted you are to other people, what their perspectives are, the better off you will be in your relationships. So, the next aspect going on is occurring on the Ides of May, the festival of Santubaldo, May 15th, and that is the sun will sextile Rahu, or the North Node. So, what this means, when the sun is in Taurus now at 26 degrees, I believe, sextile the North Node at 26 degrees of Pisces, what this could mean is around 25 to 26 degrees of Pisces in Taurus. So the North Node's in Pisces, the Sun's in Taurus still. So it's still belting, still it's Taurus season. So with the Sun sextile North Node, this is about being uplifted and inspired by others. Really, other people can, move us in positive directions. We're out and about, we're meeting people that can help us evolve and grow spiritually. So your creative vision for what you want to bring into form, what you want to act upon, what you want to emulsify is supported by other people that are lifting you up and shining the light upon you to really amplify that pickled herring, to really give a sense of pride to what you have to offer to the world. So you may come through a crisis with a stronger sense of who you are. So coming through a challenging circumstance with a very strong understanding of self-knowledge of knowing who you are. People at this time could reveal your true power and help you become more self-aware. Very self-aware indeed. So this is great for growth and personal development. This is also great for aligning with your soul's purpose and moving in the direction of your North Node, of your Saturn placement. So you have the ability now to attract positive experiences and opportunities to you. There may be an increase in material abundance. This period is also a time of empowerment and transformation. Now, a good thing to do under this transit is to really evaluate your relationship with your masculine people in your life, with your father figures, because the sun relates to the sun's masculine, it's yang in energy. So we are really looking at nurturing your relationship with those masculine figures, which can be very helpful for you at this time. So the support and guidance can help you understand your identity and express yourself confidently. Rely on your own intuition and inner wisdom rather than by abiding by the laws of society. You have all the answers within you. You have all the rules within you. Trust your intuition with what feels right. So reflect on how you can tap into your own potential and creativity. Make strides. Go for fulfilling your soul's purpose. Now, 2 days later, on Saturday the 17th, the Sun and the Uranus conjoin, and it marks what's known as the most shocking day of the year. When the Sun meets Uranus, a Sun-Uranus cazimi is what it's called. Uranus is in the heart of the Sun. So what this means is that there can be unexpected changes that come about. This can also, we're looking at freedom and rebellion as big issues. We may want to rebel against certain societal rules and societal norms and ways of going about life. But it's very important not to rebel just for the sake of rebelling. Rebel for a cause that is practical, rooted in intuition, rooted in integrity and truth. So this is really talking about breaking from your routine and doing something different, getting out of your routine and your day-to-day schedule, what you do, and break out of that and try something different that you don't usually do. Go somewhere different, drive a different way to work. Yeah, that's a very common example there. So do something out of the ordinary. This is really, really how you can maximize this is to um, do something out of your normal routine. So if you resist change and you resist facing change, then negative manifestations can occur in your life. Open your consciousness to higher vibrations. Develop greater self-awareness. Rise to a higher frequency. Evolve to the fifth dimension. Remain flexible and open-minded. Doing this could increase your chances. Choose to be willing to meet people from different cultural and social backgrounds than your own. Be independent and reinvent yourself, how you want your future self to be, how you want that self to be. Reinvent this and shock others with supporting some new and extreme views. So that's what I have to say on the astrology for this week, the week of May 11th. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this video, then like the video, subscribe to the channel. All those, doing all the things really, really helps the channel to grow. And so I appreciate all those things. And so I will see you next video. Bye for now.